Think you know everything about operational documentation? Today, we're putting that to the test. This is a 10-question fact or fiction challenge. I'll give you a statement. You decide. Is it fact or fiction? Keep track of your score. No Googling. Some of these sound obvious, but they're actually wrong. Let's begin. Question 1. Documentation is only important for large corporations. The answer is fiction. This sounds logical, but it's actually backwards. Smaller organizations often depend even more on documentation. Why? Because small teams rely heavily on individual knowledge. If one employee leaves and nothing is documented, entire processes can disappear overnight. Startups that document early scale much faster, because new hires can learn workflows quickly. In fact, many successful startups build documentation before they reach 10 employees. Question 2. Good operational documentation can reduce onboarding time for new employees by up to 50%. The answer is fact. Clear documentation dramatically speeds up onboarding. Instead of asking coworkers hundreds of questions, employees can reference documented processes. Companies with structured knowledge bases often see onboarding time drop 40 to 60%. That means faster productivity, fewer mistakes, less stress for managers. Documentation turns tribal knowledge into scalable knowledge. Question 3. Operational documentation should only include written manuals. The answer is fiction. Modern documentation includes far more than written manuals. Effective documentation may include process diagrams, workflow charts, videos, visual guides, checklists, interactive knowledge bases. Many people actually learn faster through visual documentation than written text. The goal isn't more documents. The goal is clear understanding. Question 4. If a process is obvious, it doesn't need documentation. The answer is fiction. What seems obvious to experienced employees often confuses new hires. Even simple tasks usually contain hidden decisions, shortcuts, and assumptions. When these steps aren't documented, mistakes happen. Operational failures frequently occur in processes that everyone assumed were too simple to document. If a process matters, it should be documented. Question 5. Operational documentation can improve regulatory compliance and audit readiness. The answer is fact. Regulators and auditors expect organizations to prove that their processes are controlled and repeatable. Documentation provides evidence of internal controls, compliance procedures, governance practices, accountability structures. In regulated industries like finance and healthcare, documentation is not optional. It's often required to pass audits and avoid penalties. You're halfway through. How many have you gotten right so far? If you're at 5 out of 5, impressive. Most people miss at least 2 by now. Let's see how you finish. Question 6. Written documentation gets outdated quickly and becomes unreliable. The answer is fiction. Documentation only becomes unreliable when it isn't maintained. Good organizations treat documentation as a living system. Processes are updated regularly as tools, regulations, and workflows evolve. Many companies review documentation every quarter or every year. When properly maintained, documentation becomes one of the most reliable operational assets a company has. Question 7. Small companies don't need to worry about operational documentation. The answer is Fiction. Small companies are actually more vulnerable when documentation is missing. Why? Because small teams rely heavily on a few individuals. If someone leaves, their knowledge often leaves with them. Operational documentation protects organizations from key person risk and makes growth easier. The earlier a company documents processes, the easier it is to scale. Question 8. Documentation takes more time to create than it's worth. The answer is fiction. Yes, documentation requires time, but the time saved later is enormous. Good documentation prevents repeated training, operational mistakes, confusion between teams, inconsistent results. Companies often discover that 1 hour spent documenting a process can save dozens of hours later. Documentation is an investment that pays off repeatedly. Question 9. Nobody ever actually reads the documentation. The answer is fiction. People absolutely read documentation when it's useful. The real problem is that many companies write documentation that is outdated, hard to find, overly complex. When documentation is clear, searchable, and practical, employees rely on it every day. Well-designed knowledge systems become the operational backbone of modern organizations. This is the final question, and it's the one that surprises most people. Once documentation is complete, you never need to update it again. The answer is fiction. Documentation is never truly finished. Processes change, technology evolves, regulations shift. Organizations that treat documentation as a static manual quickly fall behind. The most successful organizations treat documentation as a continuous improvement system. They review, update, and refine it regularly. That's how documentation stays valuable. So, what was your final score? Comment your result below. If you scored 8 or higher, you definitely know your stuff. If not, now you're smarter than before. Like and subscribe for next week's challenge, because knowledge isn't about what you assume, it's about what you can prove. And if you want to explore more insights about services, operations, and processes, visit Servicingpedia, where the invisible world of services becomes visible.